What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. And today we're gonna break down the Hero Dad deck that I played in the Ultimate Time Wizard tournament at YCS Indianapolis. Alright, guys, and I'm pretty behind on some uploads here, so that is why you're now doing a deck that's a few weeks old now from YCS Indianapolis. But we're going to go ahead and get right into it, because it's a pretty fun deck. You know, it's the one fun variation of Welladad that I had in the last few tournaments. So starting off, we're going to go with our hero package. Starting off with our one copy of Elemental Hero Stratos, of course. Followed by our one copy of Elemental Hero Bubble Man, who's also a free extender if we got no cards in our hand or on the field, but typically going to be what we're sending off of Future Fusion. Two copies of Destiny Hero Malicious as well too, to round out the hero package of the deck. Moving on, we got three copies of Krebons, going to be the big tuner of the deck next to Plague Spreader, but hey, you're able to bring them out just from Emergency Teleport or Power Well as well too, so very versatile in there just for that alone. Of course, our one copy of Caius, our one copy of Dark Arm Dragon, our one copy of Gores, which realistically I kinda wish I side decked him just because of having Future Fusion in the deck. Kinda makes it a little bit tougher. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's kind of up to you if you want to switch him out for something different. I probably would, going on the next go around. Next, one copy of Armageddon Knight, one copy of Dark Grepher, and one copy of Sangan for our extenders, and one copy of Necro Gardna as well too, just to give us a little versatility in case we need to, utilize the graveyard, protect ourselves for one more turn. Moving on to our zombie package, we have our one Zombie Master, followed by our one Mizuki, one Spirit Reaper, two Goblin Zombies, as well as Plague Spreader as our other tuner, since we do have the Plague Zombie Synchros, I guess you could call them, in our extra deck. So moving on to the spells, we got our Emergency Teleport with our two copies of Telekinetic Power Well as well too, just to get out Krebons a little bit quicker, a little bit easier. You know, if you got to dump him off of Armageddon Knight or Grepher, you can always bring him back with Power Well. But yeah, so you got little options there. Next up, Future Fusion. So pretty versatile. You know, we're playing Elemental Hero Gaia in the extra deck. So you can actually send Mizuki for that Earth and kind of go into some zombie plays off of that, which is pretty good. Pretty good in my opinion. And then Bubble Man, like I said earlier, an extender, but you can also use him for the Absolute Zero as well too. Next up, we got the Burial from a Different Dimension. Just get our monsters back. Definitely not a bad thing. So, you know, kind of mess up your opponents a little bit. One copy of Allure of Darkness. One copy of Reinforcement of the Army, copy of Brain Control, copy of Foolish Burial, copy of Heavy Storm, one Mind Control, and one Mystical Space Typhoon to round out the spells. Next up, going into our traps, we got two copies of Phoenix Wing Windblast. Definitely a good card. You know, being able to get one of your cards in the graveyard as well, definitely nice. Mess up your opponent's plays as well too, always a plus. So, two copies of Windblast, followed by one copy of Trap Dust Shoot. Definitely one of my favorite cards. Able to look at your opponent's hand, send a monster back to the deck. But you get hand knowledge, you can see exactly what's going on, especially if you open with Dust Shoot. Next up, one copy of Torrential Tribute, a copy of Dimensional Prison, copy of Call the Haunted, one Mirror Force, one Solemn Judgment, because saying no is just so much fun, and one copy of Return from a Different Dimension to round out the main deck. So moving on to the extra deck, we have our fusions to start off. So we got one copy of the Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. We do run Cyber Dragon in the side deck, so having him in there is definitely a plus. Our one copy of Absolute Zero for a future fusion. And our one copy of Elemental Hero Gaia as well too. So having those in the deck just kind of helps give us a little more versatility. Like I said, you're able to dump like Mizuki, go into your zombie plays a little bit quicker as well, which is pretty nice. Moving to our synchros, we got our Catastor, one copy of Magical Android, one copy of Doom Kaiser Dragon, a copy of Revive King Hades, our Goyo Guardian, our Brio, Black Rose, of course, Thought Ruler Archfiend, Colossal Fighter, Dark End Dragon, Stardust Dragon, and ending it off with our Mistworm. Moving on to the side deck. So we got two copies of Cyber Dragon, just in case you run into those machine decks that are out there. We got three copies of DD Crow, definitely a good hand trap for the format. Able to just disrupt your opponent's plays or trying to go for something that's, banishing from the graveyard, like, some of those Diva Hero decks, some of those Frog decks as well, too. So DD Crow, very good for that. We got two copies of DD Warrior Lady. It's just always good to banish off your opponent's monsters as opposed to, let them go into the graveyard. Kind of gives your opponent a little more resource if it's in the grave. We got one copy of Giant Trunade, one copy of Soul Release. We got two copies of Dust Tornado, two copies of Light Imprisoning Mirror, followed by two copies of Pulling the Rug. So there you have it, guys. That is, I guess, what I call Hero Dad. Maybe Wella Hero. I'm not really sure what to call it, but you guys can let me know what to call it. So a little bit more versatility with your typical Wella Dad. I've taken Wella Dad to a lot of these tournaments already and haven't had too much success. Thankfully, with this one, I was able to win a few more matches, so wasn't too bad at the end of the day. Didn't get that playmat, unfortunately, or the giant card, but maybe next time. But comment down below. What do you guys think about this this build? I think moving forward, I might do the zombies kind of going forward. So really been enjoying that deck over the Wella Dad stuff. But hey, comment down below. What do you guys think? Is this a build you play? What should I do? Change around? Do differently in the future? We'll see you guys on the next one. Goodbye. Mwah. And good night.